Peace and Black supremacy. This is King Noble Guru. And with this particular video, I want to really make it a satsung where I go in on a manner of different subjects. I want to touch on some things, so bear with me, take your time. I first want to talk about not coming to this material plane. The material world, matrix world, matter, material, matrix. The plane of matters where things matter. The material world is the matrix itself. It's the mother of matters or materializations. Don't come to this plane to live. Our problem is, as spiritual beings having a human experience, is that we come to this plane to live. And in coming here to live, we get caught up in the illusions of what life is and how it is to be defined with us being here. We get caught up into that, and we get pulled into the illusions and to the yin and yang, into the polarities of trying to maintain an existence, trying to manufacture an existence. And that is our constant struggle for stability, consistency, definition, fighting against change. We've come here to live. And our problems come with that. Not able to embrace change. Our utopias really just mean a space or place that is consistent, that we can know. We can feel comfortable with it. A reoccurring theme. It assures us that we're still alive, because it's repetitive, it perpetuates itself. But then when we do actually get it consistent, as soon as we find that consistency, then the mediocrity bothers us. And we want change again. And change brings about new problems. It shows us infinity again. It shows us the unpredictable nature of possibility. And then we crave for certainty again, for mediocrity again, and we go back and forth. We don't like this, or we like that. We buy this and we don't want that, and we want this and we don't want that, and we're trying to live here. We're trying to live in an illusionary realm. But this plane is the last stop before what we know ourselves to be dies. This plane is where we were supposed to die. Illusions that we have kept going from plane to plane, from dimension to dimension for eons. This is the final resting place for those illusions. This is where you die. And that's why the struggle for life is so aggressive here. The struggle for definition, expression. The ego is so strong on this plane because subconsciously it knows that this is where it dies. This is it. This is the final frontier of every illusionary plane, what we call life here. And I know that sounds kind of sad, tragic, even morbid. But the beauty of the story is that you can be reborn into infinity. You can be reborn into the true unlimited reality that you came from. You came from an unlimited reality, but you got lost as you traveled through certain finite spaces, certain illusions. You lost your infinite self. And you start to believe that you were just residents. You was just a residence of different places and spaces that you traveled through. You took up citizenship. And you began to identify yourself as a citizen of this, as this gender, this race, this tribe, this idea. But as you have traveled so far, none of them have really fit. As soon as you wear one of them, it gets old and you're looking for another one. There's no context to really put your existence in. But on this plane, those contexts are dying at an accelerated rate. In other dimensions, you can hold illusions a little longer. But here they seem to die very quickly, which is why the search for identity is so aggressive here. It's why there's so much materialism. Everything here is about self-expression, self-attachment. Because those illusions die so quickly. As soon as you get one, it doesn't fit anymore. You're like, well, it's really not that. I'm really not that. I'm really not that. Everything you do only reminds you that you're really not that, or you're really not this. And you realize the struggle is just so much greater than this or that. But behind all this physical context, there's a greater spiritual narrative, a greater spiritual conquest that exhausts these circumstances and these situations with this plane. They get exhausted. You didn't come here to live. The you that you think you are came here to die. The real you cannot die. But the fake you will die here. And it will either be a very slow and grueling death, a pain-filled death, or it'll be quick and over with. When you can no longer identify or attach yourself with these illusions of this particular plane. You can get it over with. And you can be freed here. And you can be here, but you can live in infinity. Infinity could be your address. Unlimited possibility could become your homestead. An unlimited being could become your race, can become your true identity while even being here. If you can embrace all of these transformations as a part of the bigger picture of self-knowing, of self-realization. Everything that you seek for and that you want here is your attachment to surviving. Every manner of comfort, every single desire is your method to try to continue to survive. Your impatience, your agitation, your anger, your frustration. You don't want to die here. You don't want to die here, but you're at your own funeral. And all of these unfulfilled desires is just looking at your body in the casket, not believing that you have already died. So you're trolling your own funeral here. You did not come here to live. You came here to die. When you realize that, you will be so free. That will be the moment where you become free. Because you think it was all about you, about your life, your situation, how you're a victim, who you are. You search for meaning in these areas. And you keep replaying these tapes and rehashing these things and attaching yourself to these different things. Looking for solutions to illusions. Looking for solutions to fleeting situations and circumstances. Fleeting thoughts and ideas. Made up conceptions and perceptions and perspectives. You came here to die. And all the pain that you have suffered here has only had one purpose: to kill you. And it hurts so bad because you're fighting for life. You can't just embrace it. You can't let it go. Your inability to let go of pain is your inability to let go of the ego that is attached to the pain. When you attach yourself to the pain, you strengthen the ego that has been defined by the pain, that has been defined by the struggle, that has been defined by the context of these situations. You came here to die. You didn't come here to be comfortable, to live it up, to find the perfect space, the perfect situation, the perfect mate. You were eluded. That was your trap, to be eluded that such things exist. So that in your seeking these things, that you would walk into your death. That you would walk into your death, that you could actually be seduced into your own end as a finite, egotistical, limited, ephemeral entity. All your desires were only leading you to your death. But you couldn't die, so you tried to come up with more desires. And you tried to flip your desires around and recategorize them and try to refine them to get to the right desire. As some type of Houdini tactic to escape your own death. You were supposed to die here. No one here wants to die. They are fighting for life. Their religions teach that heaven will come after you leave this planet and that you'll go to heaven. And you'll be with Christ, you'll be with Jesus, or you'll be in Jannah with Prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him. That you'll be there with the Prophet. You'll be there in Jannah in heaven. And it will be so beautiful. But you don't want to die. Even though you believe that heaven is, and there's a heaven and an afterlife. Nobody wants to die. They're fighting to live here. But I'm here to tell you that when you die right here as an ego, that your heaven will be here when you die. That you don't even have to die physically. When you die egotistically, when the ego in you dies, the illusion of who you and what you are that is fighting to continue and perpetuate itself, when that entity dies, your effortless self will become your dominant reality. And you will enter into heaven on this plane at once. This plane will become your heaven. You will enter into the gates of heaven. But you have to die. And in order to die, everything that is painful for you, you must embrace it. You must accept the arrows. You must accept the daggers. You must stick out your chest to the swordsman and end it. Every situation that does not go your way. You don't like this, you don't like that. You must embrace the discomfort. The you that don't dislike it, the you that dislike it, that person must die. When they die, there'll be no one to dislike anything ever again. The disliker will be dead. And what will be left? Heaven. Endless opportunity. Limitless meaning and movement and transformation and energy without definition. Death, ignition, igniting you to death. You won't need it anymore. You won't need to be ignited to death because you will have already died. You won't need definition anymore. So you won't have narrative or context to see problems. You won't have problems anymore. A problem needs an ego. A problem needs a utopia. It needs a better perspective. It needs desire. It needs idealism. A problem needs a strong ego. Once you get rid of the ego, there are no problems. Who is there to suffer? Who is there to define or limit what is there? Who is there to perceive? Who is there to fear? Who is there to be unloved? To be neglected? To be mistreated? To be hurt? Who is there? That person died. They embrace the most tremendous amount of pain till they die. We were taught to avoid pain and seek pleasure. But out of our quest for pleasure, we manufacture pain. But they tell you to avoid the pain. And they got something for you to avoid pain. Every product makes you avoid pain. Every luxury, every comfort, every convenience is to take the pain of it away from it all. But the pain has never left. The pain of the rich is the same pain of the poor. No matter what they have consumed, their pain is no less. And their pain will only go away after they die. Whether they're rich, poor, old, young, white, black, Asian, doesn't matter. They will be in pain until they die. The day that they die as an ego, they will be reborn into their spiritual self. And they will realize at that point that who they are, is a part and parcel of everything. And if you are a part and parcel of everything, nothing is against you. There is no distributor of pain and receiver of pain. Who you really are is one with everything that exists. It is all you, every part of it, every aspect of it. It's you coming home, fragmented parts, shattered parts, returning back to their source. Evicting an ego that has took up residence, that has made the home its home. It's just my house. The ego says this is just my house. But pain is different dimensions and aspects of yourself returning home as well. And when you let it all home, when you let it all come home and just embrace it, just let it all home, the ego dies. And light just pours out of the house. You know the ego has died now. Because light just begins to pour out the house. And when people look at that house, they just see light coming out of it. And they can look at the house and they can say, I guess whoever lived there must die because there's so much light coming out. Like all we see is light. It's like an angelic or spiritual occurrence. Wow. And people will look at you and they will see so much light that's coming from you. And they don't realize you've died. You went to heaven. They see the staircase to heaven coming out of your eyes. And your tears now are tears of joy. Because the enlightened can celebrate their funeral. They celebrate their funeral. We want to be right, but our life is so wrong. But the fact that we attach to being right recreates the circumstances that we don't like. We're right about our pain, we're right about our suffering, and we continue to perpetuate it in our sense of self-righteousness. We still want to be right because that's the ego there. The ego has to be right. But it's not until you can be wrong till you can be happy. Wrong about it all. Who wants to wake up one day and realize, dang, I'm wrong about everything? I am wrong about every goddamn thing. I know absolutely nothing. That person has died. But the person that's right about everything is fighting to live, and every day is making correlations to find out what they are right about. Oh, I knew that. Oh, I know this. Oh, I know that. Oh, I know that. And that's why I'm mad and angry, because I know. But the person who does not know is like a child, innocent. And the world becomes your playground. You don't know anything. Everything's just a new toy. It's just a new opportunity to find out who you are, what it is, what it's about. Nothing has been defined. Nothing is nothing, and everything is everything. But if you are somebody that you are attached to, everything becomes defined relative to who you think you are. And you live in a prison of your own making. Because now reality has to conform to your illusion of self. So you are in a self-perpetuated prison, a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you say, I am this, then you must go into the world and find out that you are that. Every situation has to show how you are this or how you are that. And you want out. How do you get out of that? How do you get out of your own contextual prison that's created by your ego? How can you escape? It's like a person who's locked up in prison. And then they're in there and they say, I want to be free. I'm a prisoner. And as soon as they step out of the prison, somebody asks them, who are you? And they say, well, I'm the person that was locked up in the prison. But they're out. Who is the person that's locked? How could you be the person that was locked up in the prison if you're out? If you're out, you're no longer the person that was locked up into the prison. If you're the person that was locked up in the prison, you would still have to be the person that's locked up in the prison. They don't say, I am the person that is out of prison. They say, I'm an ex-convict. I'm an ex-prisoner. Still a prisoner. Their life still defined by the context of prison, of being a prisoner. You can't be free by getting out of any prison, by getting out of any limits. You can only be free by when the person who was in it dies. When that figment of reality, that figment of your imagination no longer lives, then you are free. The person in the situation must die. The personality, the context, the character must die. You want happiness, you have to die. Because it's you that has been making yourself unhappy. It is you that find reasons and find meanings to be unhappy. And you take pride in what makes you unhappy, which is your identification with this relationship, or your identification with this political situation or political circumstance, or you take pride in it. I am this. I am that. Not realizing that simultaneously you're saying, I am in pain. I am suffering. I am hurt. But when you die, then you can be happy because you are nothing. So there's nothing that can upset you. There is nothing that can frustrate you. You must destroy your home. You must destroy your home. Because until you destroy your home, can you live anywhere? You can't be free if you have a home. You have to carry your stuff with you. You have to worry about this and that and this stuff and that stuff. And how can you be free? You want to become an international entity. You want to become a galactic being. Just destroy your home. It's not that difficult. As long as you have a house, an address, or a space that you call home, you're not free. You are a slave to your attachments, and you are defined by your attachments. You are defined by your attachments. You want freedom? Get rid of all your attachments. Let it all go. You want to be rich? Give up everything that you have. You won't be limited to what you thought you had. You can now expand beyond that. You've now given yourself permission to expand beyond that. So if you want to be free and go beyond your pain, you have to die. If you want to make the world your home and you want to free up your existence, you want the world. If you want the world, and a lot of people say that, whose world is this? The world is mine. It's a Nas song. If you really want the world, just get rid of your home. And you'll have the world. You want love? Give up on your relationship. Let it go. If you want love, let it go. Because you can't love until you let go of your relationship. That doesn't mean don't be with someone. Be with someone. But let them go. And you'll find out what love is. Because when you let go, then you'll do it. Then you'll love. Until you let go, you cannot love. You can only seek to be loved in the right way. You can only seek to be loved by your rules and by your definition and by your regulations. But when you let go, now you can love. And the love that you want and the love that you want to experience, true love, unconditional love, is your own love that is in you. And the love that you seek requires of you to die, to go beyond your illusion of self so you can love unlimitedly. So you can love in the most unlimited way. We want love, but we cannot love because we are preoccupied with our desires, with our utopias, with our ideal situations. We can never love somebody else. We can never give ourselves to someone else. We can never become a devotee. We can never become a servant. Because we must be served. So we are the angry, we have become the angry royal class who is constantly angry at our peasants. And we wonder why we don't know love. We are so demanding. We can never love, so we do not know it and cannot know it. We only know our desires, what we want. We only know what will gratify our ego. We cannot give a moment to another. We're trying to equate it to how it edifies ourselves. Every moment we give fits within the context of how we can edify ourselves, how we can keep our ego going and our narrative going. So we cannot know love because we cannot give it. Because in order to love, we would have to die. We would have to expand beyond the parameters of what we acknowledge our existence to be, so that we can love beyond ourselves. Because right now we can't love beyond ourselves, which is why we have so much judgment. We can only judge another. We cannot accept difference because it fights us. The differences in others challenge our existence. So we can't love difference. So we cannot love unconditionally. We cannot maintain the condition that we believe is ourselves and love somebody else unconditionally at the same time. We can only relate to them based on how they edify the condition that we perceive to be ourselves. So we cannot love anyone. The act of love itself is embracing differences. If you cannot love someone that is different from you, you cannot love at all. What you call love is self-edification and self-gratification. Doing that which gratifies you and the good feeling that comes from self-gratification you call love. That ain't love. That's kissing the mirror. You won't know love until you step outside of the illusion that is you to embrace that which is beyond you. They say love is God. Many of your holy men have said this, that love is God. God is love. God is infinite. Love is infinite. Your existence seeks to be definite, the finite. The definite can never copulate with the infinite. Never. The infinite is a threat to the definite. Because the definite or the definition loses itself in infinity. Definition melts in infinity. Everything loses definition in infinity, in eternity, in all presence, omnipresence. Everything loses definition and character and form and shape. Nothing is pronounced. Everything is denounced. So if you want love, give up your idea of a relationship. Let go of your ideals and love another. Love the other. The other is different from you. That's why it's called the other. And if you're looking for that which is only the same as you, that fits within your similitude, you cannot love because you cannot know the other. You cannot embrace the other. You cannot stomach the other. So there is no opportunity to love. There's no opportunity to love. The only opportunity that there is for you to try to hold on to yourself while another is there. Hold on to who you are, who you believe yourself to be. And seek out those who reaffirm your beliefs about you. But when you're ready to die, you will seek those that would challenge all of your beliefs and all of your ideas. They will challenge everything you know and force you to expand. That is love. Your true lover, I don't mean your mate and in your relationship. Your true lover will kill you. Thus the saying, I love you to death. Because your true lover will murder you. The you that you thought you were will no longer exist if you are able to truly be in love and to truly love. You will die. And if you are enlightened, you will die happily, moment by moment and second by second. You will willingly die. Willingly. We didn't come here to live. We didn't come here to live in nature. We didn't come here to live in luxury, and we didn't come here to live in poverty. We didn't come here to live artistically. We didn't come here to live in some plain way. We didn't come here to live spiritually. We didn't come here to live physically. We didn't come here to live. We came here to go beyond life itself. This is our opportunity to be taken beyond what life is. Beyond what life is itself. And that's spiritual. You can't live spiritually. Spirituality is when you are taken beyond life. This plane can take you beyond life so quickly, because everything you thought life is will continuously to be destroyed. That'll take you beyond it. This plane is only the catalyst to go beyond it. It gives you everything you need to go beyond it. It's like building a rocket ship. Everything you need to go to space is right down here. And that's what life is. Everything you need to have a spiritual awakening is right down here. But if you're trying to live here, you'll reject that which is meant for your spiritual awakening, which is loss, change, difference. All that is just fuel for your awakening. That's down here. But you reject all them things. You don't want no loss. You don't want no change. You can't deal with nothing different. You can't deal with difference. That's why so much racism and all this shit. Because we can't deal with difference. Because what am I? If this is different, then who the fuck am I? What am I? I need more of the same things, more of the same, to continue to perpetuate my existence. If things are too different, then I don't know who or what I am. So I have to get only among those and things and situations and circumstances that are like me or like mine. Because that's the only way I can keep perpetuating the illusion of me. You must challenge your death. You must challenge yourself to die. Embrace different situations. Embrace the difference. Challenge yourself to go beyond your norms. What is normal for you? Don't just seek your norms and seek your ideals. Challenge yourself to be different. Challenge yourself to go beyond yourself. There you will know God. If you can't go beyond yourself, you will never know God. You only know a human. God is on the other side of you. The entity that you're walking around, God is on the other side of that. But you have to die to meet God. And when you meet God in you, you will meet God in everything and in everyone, and in every situation, in every circumstance, you will find God there instantly. God will smile upon you through every situation and circumstance in your life. It will be as though God is smiling upon you. That's how you know you have awakened. Every situation will be a message from God. Every situation. You have gods come to you, enlightened entities and beings who manifest on this earth, to show you just that. So you need gods to take you beyond yourself. You need God embodiments to challenge your ego, because nothing challenges your ego more than the God in person. Mm-hmm. That anyone could be God or be greater than you could be the greatest offense on the ego. That someone's greater than me, someone's God. No, you're not. So you have gods that embody, just to challenge you beyond yourself. Because it's one thing to say, "Oh, I'm spiritual. I see God in everything," or "I'm liberated," and then someone comes as God, and you say, "Nope." So the direct challenge to your ego is the God-like being, the embodiment of God. It's the guru. They're your immediate challenge. They're where the proof is in the pudding. In this case, it's chocolate pudding, but I digress. But once you really expand your consciousness, truly, you will see nothing but God. Nothing but. There's nothing else to see. Your holy men have said, La ilaha illallah, there is no God but God. They're saying that there is no illusion. There's but God. There's nothing else that is more important, more significant, nothing greater of relevance. There is no God but God. There's nothing but God. There's not but God. There's not but infinity. Infinity. Unlimited beingness. There's nothing but that. Unlimited perfection. There's nothing but that. So when you wake up, you live in your awakening. You're no longer living on earth. You're living in your awakening. You're living from awakened moment to awakened moment to awakened moment to awakened moment. There's nothing here but moments of awakening. That's it. Some of you have come here to live. That's why you're fighting over this. To come here to live, you have to make your house. And when you make your house, you have to determine your territories. And you have to fight for your house. It's hard living here, man. But if you came here to die, all this shit is your house. All this shit is recycled. All of this is opportunity. All of this is just perfect. It's just you just navigating and moving into perfection, forming into perfection, forming with it, moving with it, shaping with it. All of it is divine. It's divine order. All of it is divine. Even the unenlightened are divine. The unconscious are divine. Everything is divine. Everything. You just embrace all of it, every moment to moment, awakenings. So you didn't come here to live. You came here to die. Because nothing of your ideals will live on. If you sit here and tell me why you came here, you say, well, I came here, I want to create a future for my children, and I want to build institutions that outlive me. All of them will die and be destroyed. You can't control other human beings. You don't know what your children are going to do and not going to do. They're going to make their own decisions. Hell, we don't even know what the world is going to look like 20 years from now with the way technology is improving and advancing. We don't even know what type of world we're going to live in. A lot of ideas that we have will be irrelevant. The world is moving at a very fast pace in a way that cannot be calculated. 100 years from now, there could be more robots on this planet than human beings. It almost already is. Everything is a damn robot. It's more technology than it is human existence. It's more technology interfacing with technology than human beings interfacing with technology now. You're not so sure or certain about what the world will be at some point. Or it could be very apocalyptic, where man can destroy himself and destroy all this through nuclear holocaust. And he can set himself back thousands of years. He could set himself back and have to remember the simplest of things with the only people that are left. How to make a fucking fire. And try to work his way back up to his destruction again. Because as fast as man is creating, as fast as he is perfecting his destruction, that's proof that he's here to die. The more technology they get, they don't make it more convenient and cure more diseases and heal more people and make life better. They create more warheads. More manners of population control, more ways to destroy people is what they create. So you don't know what the future is going to be. You don't know if it's going to be an apocalyptic end, or you don't know if it's going to be a technological disaster, a technocracy. So you can't worry about that. You can't be attached to that. Because none of that is life. All of that will die. Everything man do will die and will be destroyed at some point. This is all you have. This is your moment. This is your time. This is it for you. Die before all of this shit does. You die first. Don't wait on the political structures and political systems to end and change. And don't wait on the tyrants to die. You go ahead and do yourself a favor. Die right now. Go before all that happens. And at that point, it becomes your heaven. It becomes your nirvana at that point. You're from heaven. So heaven's not here. That's where you came from. Every time you get up in the morning, you just came from heaven. But you ain't brought nothing back. Because the ego is standing at the door like security at the airport, making sure that who you are filters itself back into the dream, back into this illusion. But one day you'll push those security guards out the way, and you'll bring everything back with you from heaven. And you'll live in the heaven that you return with, that you bring back. This is part one of this satsang. I wanted to just go in on some things. Join my website, www.kingnobleuncensored.com. Donate, don't hate. And try to die today. Try to die. Then you can be happy. Look at all your situations and circumstances in life, comfort, discomfort, the future, the past. Die today. Your uncertainty will go away. And you will live completely and fully in this moment. Black supremacy.